Hi, I'm Bob Hawk. I'm here today to talk about manufacturing options for Macola. We're going to start by taking a look at what we call POP Plus. And the definition of POP Plus down below here is the WiSys Agility POP Plus manufacturing allows you to have a bill of material with components with the material that can be issued to a POP order rather than simply backflushed. So if you think about it, today your POP module backflushes everything on there. Many companies have to release and unrelease the POP order to get the material to work out correct based on what's used. If we extend POP to POP Plus, then we can actually issue material. So one of the functions inside POP Plus is issuing and returning material. You can still backflush components as needed, but it does give you the capability of issuing the right amount of material and returning what was left. So you can get work in process and what's left over gets put back. And your material plan is always correct. So WiSys extended POP to be POP Plus, and there's a number of components in here that we're going to go through today. Using the POP desktop, I'm going to open up Agility on the desktop here. And once it starts up, we're going to take a look at a couple of setup functions that give us some extra capability inside Macola. This is my startup component. I'll just cancel it. I'll show the complete menu, and I'll slide open here to POP. And to start with, I'm going to go to some options, and we're going to take a look at a setup feature for lot control. When I use POP and I create a finished good that's lotted, down below here I have some parameters of how I want that lot number to be built. You can see that I'm going to do a table column lookup, and I'm going to capture from the POP order master, I'm going to capture the open shop order that I'm working on, and then the second part of the lot number is going to be the natural Julian date, 7 characters. So Macola lot numbers can be 15-digit max, and so 7 and 8 fits perfect. Also, when I create a finished good, if I look at where transactions happen, this is kind of like an event manager for WiSys. When I come in and I want to do a finished good, I have a crystal report hooked up here. If I open that, basically it's looking at my default 8.5 by 11 printer, but it's a small one for my little Zebra. So I get a message about that. But basically you can look here at all the different fields and where the data is coming from, and we have barcodes. So the WiSys applications that you're looking at, if you're a WiSys customer today, you know there's a label designer that's built in. Very powerful. It's included in the price of the product, so you don't need to buy an extra one. So we've got lot builder, and we're looking at documents. Okay, the first component I want to take a look at is this one called production advice. Production advice has parameters over here of what do I want to run, what items, what locations, and what policies. I'll accept everything. And these are all the POP items in my system, and these are the recommendations based on minimum reorder level and sales orders in the system that might be driving demand for these items. If we look down here, our Oreo has a requirement. And you can see here the reorder level is set to 144, so it's telling me to build 144. If I want to accept that, I can check this box and create the order. Now WiSys can have much more automation. What if I want to accept all of these orders? Maybe I'll just filter out the ones that have a quantity required, and I could punch this in, and I could create work orders for all these items just by clicking this work order create button. In this case, I'm just going to do my Oreos for 144. I may want to check to make sure I have material to build that. If I look at the Can Build option, it'll show me if I have any material shortages. And the alert that we have set up on this shows that my packaging needs to be created. So I need to build packaging, and I'm going to do that with a different tool, and you'll see me do that in just a moment. But I'm going to relieve that shortage with my one-step manufacturing. Let's go ahead and create the order. Due today. All right, so that order is in the system and created. I'm going to look at it with the Pop Order console. The console has a ribbon at the top, and it has many powerful functions. So if you have a person in your company that wears a lot of hats, drives a lot of functionality, you may like this tool. If I focus just on one item, I can see here again, these are the components needed in the captured bill. And again, I'm reminded about a shortage here where I need 144 package materials to be created. Well, let's leave that here and go create those. Now I could drive that right off this menu if I wanted. Here's the component that I want. Pop Backfill could also be out on the floor. I can run components, one individual component. And when we think about simplification, imagine if you had a PC out on the floor and all it did was sit there and wait for people to produce things. So in this case, I want to create some packaging. So I'll come up and scan the barcode in the location where my Kanban bin is. And it wants to know the location of where I'm going to create them. I'm going to go ahead and create 1,000. And you'll notice that all the components are backflushed. Okay, so I just went out on this work order that I created, released, and reported against all in one step. I could have put barcode labels on all those or just one label for the stack, and that's what I've done. I've just printed a label for the stack, and it'll go with that group back to the Kanban bin. So that's an example of one-step manufacturing. Back to our area now. Let's go back to the desktop. And for my work order here, the cookies that I've created, that I'm going to create against work order 378, I need a document. So when I click here, I can print my document for this individual work order, or I could pick it for a group. So these are going to be the components that I'm going to need. And you can see here, I'm set up for poor man's directed picking. So I actually am displaying the bin where the product is, the lot number that I'm supposed to get, and the quantity that I'm going to need. So I need 2 cookies and some cream and a package to put it in. So that's easy. If I want to issue material, I could do the issuing of material here. I'll go ahead and do it the traditional way. I'll use the handheld. Go ahead and log in. Go to the POP section, and I'm going to issue material. So I have my work order, 378. I can scan or look up, that sort of thing. If I want to do a lookup, I can just look up the item. Now it wants to know the lot and the location where I'm going to go get it. So I'm going to scan the lot number for the chocolate cookie that I'm going to be issuing. And the bin that I'm getting it out of is A100. So I have to get that right. And then I'm going to issue the quantity that I want. If you hit enter twice, it's too fast, and it tells you you made a mistake. Next time, I'll go ahead and scan the Oreo cream and the lot number, and the bin where I'm going to get it comes out of a different place, and the quantity that I need. So it's scan, 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 enter. So you can do things on the desktop, or you can do things right here on the scan gun. If it's a mobile operation, use a mobile device. If it's stationary, use a workstation. So now let's get down to reporting. I can report on the desktop, or I can report on the scan gun. Either one will do the same thing. So let's go ahead and scan here. Scan my work order, or enter it. And the quantity needed, I'm going to go ahead and produce 100. And the bin that I'm going to put them in is the stage bin. And it generates the lot number. So you can see here the first part of that was automatically created by the work order number right here, padded with zeros. And here's the Julian date back here. I'll go ahead and accept that and produce 100. So there is my label that goes with the container that I just produced. If I do the same thing on the scan gun and I go to production reporting, and here we go, production reporting. So if I report against that work order 378, again, same thing, but you notice not 144. I took 100 over here, and I have 44 remaining, and that'll be my quantity to produce. I can go over, I can go under. It's really up to you how you have your settings. So that is as easy it is to produce with POP and WiSys, either on the desktop or on the handheld.